How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Full Court Press. Last episode, we covered the week one, or let's say the first round of the playoffs. Those great matchups. So without wasting any time, let's get into the first matchup of the day. We had Martin versus Last, with Martin coming on top 69-40, with Ari having 18 points, Max 14, and Connor 10. This was just a dominant win for, Team Martin. What do you guys think about this one?
I just think Ari Jane's kind of too much for this team to handle. I mean, with him banging these guys on the inside, there's really nothing they can do about it. They didn't have the height. They didn't have, the weight. It really just wasn't even close.
Yeah.
There was not a lot of shooting this game is what I heard, though.
Ari, he's a stud.
Except for on Team Last, Zane, 30 points.
This was like a
30 of their 40
but they still lost by 29.
That is definitely new. So.
This is kind of like a Tiago Splitter type performance. Zane,
Tiago Splitter?
yeah, Tiago Splitter.
Tiago Splitter?
Zane his whole career hasn't averaged a lot, but then he comes out here, has a Michael Jordan kind of game, drops 30, but they lose.
By 30.
Mm-hmm. By 30, yeah.
So...
at least he had those stats. That's really all he's wanted all season. You see the way he plays.
Yeah.
But, nothing really to say. This was a game that, we thought was going to be like this 70-40 or 69-40. So now, Ari Jane is now in the second round of the playoffs, Goldie. What do you think about this game?
I think it just goes to show that, Team Martin is good. They really are. Obviously, Ari led the way with 18 points, but Max, 14 points. Connor McCarthy had 10. That's his second game in a row where he's been good. I think James Berry had 8. Ari and Bati added a few.
Well, I think everybody on Team Martin scored at least one bucket. So
the
ball movement. I was talking with James earlier, and he said that everybody scored. So the ball movement on this team is really good, and it shows. They won almost by 30. So.
And they were without Coach Kevin Martin. It was
really?
Coach McCarthy.
That's the second week in a row winning.
Coach McCarthy led the way.
Yeah. Now we got Arian and James becoming good buddies again. I feel like this team is just getting better from here.
This is a duo that we should be looking forward to seeing in the playoffs. They're just close with each other.
Yeah, for sure.
You're going to be playing against them this week.
I know. I'm kind of nervous.
Are you worried at all after a 70-40 win here?
It was against Team Last.
It was actually 69-40.
Well, it was 69-40. But, I think Team Last isn't really that good of a team, and I don't think they match up well against Martin. So I don't know. Were any of you guys surprised about what happened this week?
No.
Are you going to have to guard the 6'7" Ari Jane in the paint?
6'7"?
That's what people say. That's what
Yeah.
Goldberg says.
I don't know. I think that's more of Noah's job, but
Okay.
I think I'll be able to come help because I don't think this team's got a lot of shooters.
Yeah.
All right, so moving into the next matchup, we had Team Doherty versus Team Cormier, with Team Doherty coming on top 48-46 with Justin Goldberg, the man to my left, with 26 points, adding, as well as Greg adding 14 points. This was a great game. I was the only person last week to pick Team Cormier, so I'm kind of the odd one out right now, but I have to say congratulations to Justin. This was more like a Kwame Brown type performance. Justin had 26.
Kwame Brown,
Exactly.
26 points.
Exactly.
Kwame Brown ain't never had
'Cause
26 points.
Yes,
ever.
he has. Remember, he had the 26-21 game, right? He's a rookie into the league, and he drops that in the game. This is like Justin Goldberg, first year in rec, and always having, these great performances, especially in the first round of the playoffs. So just got to give it to Justin on this one. What do you guys think about this one?
Goldberg.
Yeah, this was a back and forth game. Obviously, we ended up pulling it out, 2-point win. But this was probably the toughest game I've played in all year. The intensity was there. Back and forth. Whenever I got a bucket, Mauricio got a bucket. I will say, I think I had 4 points to start the fourth quarter. I was shut down for 3 quarters, and just in the fourth quarter I had 4 threes, ton of free. I just went crazy in the fourth quarter. So it was a huge game, but we're happy to move on. And I'll shout out Greg. We would not have won this game without Greg. Greg came up with some big buckets down the stretch, and ultimately we got Team Kaplan next week.
You know what's funny about Greg is I saw him after the game, and
all right, this is going to be false. I don't even know what he's going to say, but this is going to be some sort of lie.
No, seriously, I saw Greg after the game when I was walking in, and Greg looked upset. I go, Greg, what's wrong? He's like, I had to deal with Justin for another week.
You told me about that too. Yeah.
How did Mauricio do this game?
Mauricio actually played well. He really did. He was a little bit frustrated after the game because he didn't. It was actually funny. So I had 4 fouls in the fourth. Greg had 4 fouls, and Mauricio also had 4 fouls. So defensively, it was hard. I was trying to go at Mauricio. He was trying to go at me to try and get us to foul out. With like 30 seconds to go in the game, Mauricio did foul out.
So Justin, I have a question for you. What do you have to say to the team, like Mauricio's team, after you guys just bounced them in the first round? Do you have any sort of message to them?
How about a message to the league?
Into the camera.
Into the camera, please.
This is not a Cinderella story. This is not a Cinderella story. We got Team Kaplan next. They're undefeated,
6,
but they're not about to be undefeated. They're about to get a loss.
I love the confidence.
I like that confidence. All right, moving into the next game. We saw this one coming from 10 miles away, Freiburg versus Grasso. 71-30, 41-point deficit. Esta having 22 points, a great game by Estefan, and then Josh adding 10. So it kind of goes to show that, their backcourt really showed up today, or that day they played them. But, Team Grasso, 30 points, right? We've seen this all season from them. I'm sorry it's going to end like this way, Team Grasso. Hope you guys will be better next year, but enjoy your time in Cancun.
So I actually, I watched the film on this game today. I mean, it was a great game. The score doesn't say everything. It was not a close game for any point, but the score doesn't say everything. I think Matt Grasso and the team, really, they tried to win this game. I mean, they all showed up. It looked like there's a lot of guys on the bench and playing in the game. They did everything that they had to do, but it just wasn't enough. So, I mean, we'll see what happens with this team next year. I think they could be a dynasty. They got some really talented guys, but, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, when you got Esta playing like Rasho and Nesterovic, it's kind of...
That's Rasho to Nesterovic?
Yeah.
I never hear that in my life.
That's a great comparison.
Yeah.
He's a 2K legend.
Yes, exactly. So, Grasso really didn't stand a chance. I mean, Esta, he had a really big week again this week, and that's good for the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think it might have been like a Tony Snell week from Matt Grasso and the crew. Like, I mean, nothing was really going on there.
Just cardio.
Yeah,
Just
but
cardio.
Ben Freeberg actually had a really good game. It's not on this, but he had 9 points, and he was in the paint, man.
He's a beast.
He was in the
He's
paint.
a beast.
He was a beast that game.
Is he more of a Kwame Brown than Justin, you think? Because, Kwame Brown had that 2020 game. Ben did have probably 10 points, 20 rebounds.
I feel like Ben's probly more of a Tiago splitter because he's blocking the shots and he's just kind of, he's playing the defensive role that his team needs.
I feel like he's a Stanislav Medvedenko.
That's also a good one right there.
Yeah. But I think Team Grasso next year, they could be a force to be reckoned with if they just draft right this year.
Yeah, they just got to draft right. Also losing their first round draft pick was definitely a setback from the beginning, but I feel like they won't make that same mistake next year.
We got to clap it up for Grasso.
Yeah.
Clap it up all around. It was a good season. It was a good season.
You guys stayed with it, man. You guys didn't give up, showed up to every single game, so we do respect you guys. Really have some good young talent. I'm sorry it had to end this way. It's just, a grown men's league right now. You guys got a young freshman team, but, in a couple years, you guys will be scary, so... Hopefully. So coming into the last spot, we had a very, very low-scoring game. Team Breen, notorious for scoring under 40 points every single week. We had Team Breen versus Team Gervais, 32-31, with Team Breen coming on top, with Jack Biddle adding 10 points, Tyler adding 8, and then Will Breen adding 8.
And Caesar. Tyler Caesar Breen.
Yeah, Tyler Caesar Breen. 32-31. What do you guys think about this game? Like, in previous weeks, we really haven't seen Team Gervais, put up 31 points. And, Jack and I and Goldie were at runs the other day, and, we were playing Jaden Gervais, and he was a very, explosive player on, all ends of the court. So, going the show, right, they just lost to Team Breen. So what do you guys think about this one?
Yeah, so I actually watched a lot of this game. Team Breen was full court pressing the entire game, and Team Gervais just wasn't used to it. They couldn't handle the pressure. I saw them turn the ball over countless times. And at the end of the day, basketball is a game of possessions, and Team Breen just had more of them.
Yeah,
So,
I think it goes to show that anything can happen in the playoffs. I picked Team Gervais to win. I think
all
of us did. So and before this, Breen wasn't really scoring many points. They still didn't. They had 32, but their defense was the main factor in their win. So anything can happen.
I think we might need to stop talking about Breen's, poor offense and their really good defense.
Yeah.
Because they've been keeping these teams low scoring. And who are they playing next week?
They're playing Altman.
That's the revenge game. That's the game
Wasn't
they
that
scored
the
15
game?
points.
Yeah, it was 29-15. That was the final score.
But
I see an
also
upset brewing there.
it also
I
shows
really hope-
Someone's got a dog walk.
it also shows that they also hold Cole's team, to 29 points. So they can definitely do that again. They just need to get it going on offense, which after coming off a great game like this week, scoring 32 points, maybe that they come back for even more. Maybe, we'll see a first 40 piece of the season, but we'll explain that later. But, this was a great game overall by Team Breen, but you guys think that they can keep up this momentum, going into the second round?
They're going to have to.
I really hope so. I really want to see Team Altman lose. Cole Altman's been talking a lot of trash, but I don't know. I think Team Altman's
they're gonna have to have
much.
a game of their life. Like they're all gonna have to make every single shot, and they're like.
I think their best bet is full court pressing
shot.
again. To be honest.
Yeah, I think Altman's gonna kill him. We'll get into that later.
We'll get to it.
So that recaps the first week of the playoffs. Dog of the week. I think, I don't know if it's unanimous this week, but I think Justin Goldberg had a very, very good performance, having 26 points, winning over 2 points, by Team Cormier. I did take, Team Cormier to win that, so I do give him his flowers. So I think Goldie's my dog of the week. Do you guys have anybody else on your mind?
Yeah, I can't really disagree with
I
that.
hate to agree with you, but I do agree.
Well, that goes for it. So for the second round of the playoffs, back to Goldie's team again. They are playing the number 1 seed Kaplan versus the number 8 seed Doherty. I'm going to give it to you, Justin. I want to hear your input on this. Coming off a great game on a 3-game win streak, now you're playing the best team in the league. What do you guys have to do to be able to get out of the second round?
I think it starts on the defensive end. I mean, in terms of our offense, we've seen everything, right? We've seen full court press, we've seen box and one, we've seen different types of zones. So we're prepared offensively. It's going to be defensively. We have to box out. Thomas is one of the biggest players in this league. And I think if we can stop Thomas, we can win this game. I really do. I don't know really what we're going to do defensively, if we go man, if we go zone, but whatever we do, we have to box out Thomas and force them to take contested shots, and I think we win this game.
For sure.
Who's going to be in the middle of your zone trying to, take
It's
on the challenge?
either going to be me or Aiden.
Against Thomas?
Against Thomas.
I think Aiden's probably the better bet for that one.
I think so,
We'll
too.
see.
I mean, I think this game could be neck and neck. Doherty coming off a 3-game win streak. Like I like the streak that they're on right now, and also since they have a very good backcourt right now. Greg playing up right now. They do have Nolan, and then obviously their best player Justin. But I feel like their backcourt might be a little too much to handle for Team Kaplan, because Team Kaplan's front court is so good. With Thomas being up there and just having those the tall tower. So I think Team Doherty could maybe potentially come out on top this week.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I hate to say that Team Doherty's going to win, but I think this is going to be an upset. I think Doherty's going to beat them. I mean, we played Kaplan 2 weeks ago without Will and Bruno, and I played the middle of the zone. Thomas had less than 15 points on me, and we just doubled him. That's all we did.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they only scored 30-some points on us. I mean, I think Doherty could win by a fairly comfortable margin here.
Yeah, I like that pick.
I think this one could go either way, honestly. I mean, just like the deciding factor is how you defend Thomas and how he does. Because, I mean, you guys don't really have anybody that can compare to him size-wise. So I just feel like being able to box him out and get the rebounds and push the floor, I think that if you do those things, you'll be able to win.
I mean, obviously they're going to have to double Thomas, so I think it comes down to ISO Joe in the corner.
ISO Joe's been bricking lately, though.
I know.
Really?
That's
What do they guys do about Cam Kaufman, though,
That's
Jack?
like Celtics.
Cam
ISO,
Kaufman
Joe.
on brick mode too. Yeah.
How do you think how are you guys going to handle Cam Kaufman?
I think we,
You guys going to just leave him open?
I think we live with a contested three. We're not going to leave him open.
You
but
have to double Thomas.
I heard Justin say that
yeah.
Cam Kaufman's shots sound like boots in the dryer. So just straight bang. So there's already some competition going on.
I think I'm also going to take the upset for this game. I like Team Doherty to win this game, and I think if Kaplan's not on, this is an easy upset for you guys. Thomas just is the key, to this team winning.
Yeah.
If he's not getting all the boards and making big defensive stops, then I don't think they really have a good chance.
Yeah, do you guys think that, this game falls under the criteria of being a Cinderella story game? Or do you think, just because it's the 1v8 seed, right? Or do you think that, since Team Doherty is actually on a 3-game winning streak, that they have the upper hand because, Team Kaplan coming off a bye week after, Team Doherty picked up a W. Oh, I'm talking about a whole different game right now. We move on to the next game, right?
No,
Oh, we're still on?
we're still on this, yeah.
My fault. So, do you guys think this could be a Cinderella story?
No. I think Kaplan wins this, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't think... I mean...
I don't think they're good enough. Like, even if
They're on
Thomas
the-
scores 30, so I still think that Doherty could beat him with Thomas scoring 30. They don't get scoring anywhere else.
Yeah,
Who else is going to score for them?
Meyer on our worst game, we only lost by like
It was
2.
week 2, and
Yeah.
they struggled to beat my team when we didn't have 2 or 3
Like,
best
they have
players.
Noah, though, to guard Thomas in the post.
It
Like,
was
if you
just a
leave Thomas
bad
one-on-one
game,
in the
though.
post, like,
That was
one-on-one, when the guy's banging him on the post, like, he knows how to spin off
Like
it.
banging
You know?
him?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but like...
But, like, so Goldberg, they have to double
But
him.
I think when you're looking at this game, like Team Doherty has these guards that can shoot, and I mean Nolan can shoot as well. If they're winning the 3-point battle,
That is true.
I mean, I don't
That's a good
think
point.
that they can keep up. Thomas has to be on. He has to be
I think it comes down to the
And
pace. that's for sure.
Goldberg calls this the Goldberg treatment, but he even if Kaplan runs the Goldberg treatment on Goldberg.
But we've seen it though.
Assuming it's not Goldberg.
The Goldberg treatment is the same.
No, but hear me out.
We've
They
seen
don't
it.
have a guy who can actually face guard you. They have no one who can keep
I
up
think
with
Alex
Thomas
Donovan
was
would
saying
probably
that
be the
he-
person that.
Yeah,
they
and
try to
Goldberg's
try.
just gonna.
Yo, I
run
love
right by
Alex
him.
Donovan, but man, that's barbecue chicken right there, goalie. If you do not.
So we'll see if Goldberg gets the Goldberg treatment.
Yeah.
All right, so moving into the next spot, we have Team Friedberg versus the 4 spot, which is Team Calderoni. So Friedberg versus Calderoni. I think this could be the marquee matchup of the entire.
This is
playoffs
must-see
right now.
TV.
This might be on national television, but
Oh, don't get too carried away.
the last time you guys played them, tell me what happened.
We lost by a pretty good amount. We lost by like 15.
Do you think that, from that last game, you have learned,
Oh, yeah.
you really studied Team Friedberg?
Oh, yeah.
Because Team Friedberg, they haven't been winning recently.
I can read Coach Dr. Ryan Friedberg's brain.
I don't think
yeah.
anyone can read him. What do you mean?
Trust me. I know exactly what he's thinking before he's even thinking it. So I know. I know what's coming.
I don't know. He draws up everything possible in his playbook. He has everything. So
Yeah, and Dr. Coach, he knows everything. And I think he's definitely scheming up a plan to stop you. 'Cause
Exactly.
that was what happened last time.
Exactly. But once again, Sohan at this time wasn't really hitting the threes yet.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even do that anymore. You can't do the box and one.
He's
Box
better.
and one. If I get past Josh once, I'm kicking it to Sohan.
Oh,
Bang, 3.
Is Schmidt even in this game?
Schmidt's not even playing.
Yeah.
Their first round pick's not playing as well.
Without Nate,
Wow, what's up?
I think I have to give this to Team Calderoni. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's Team Freeburg's.
I think
number
we
one
just have
player
to
by
keep.
far.
Freeburg's definitely gonna play great defense on us, but if we hold them to even under 20.
You got to contain Esta. Didn't he go off
Esta
against you
has
guys?
No,
20
he had like
points.
9 against us.
But he hit
He hit an
momentum
and-
threes.
Yeah.
he just had 22. So
Yeah, like if you contain him, I
But
think
wait
But that
till
is
he sees the game
Grasso.
plan.
it's still 22 points. I mean, you
That's
gotta
true.
feel
I mean, he probably had a great shooting performance considering that 90% of his shots beyond the arc. So if he gets hot, especially like we saw in that first game of the season when he tore up. What team was that? They
was
played.
Calderoni.
No,
No, it was Doherty.
Of course it
He
was.
he tore up Doherty, right? And Doherty has some very very good guards on defense as well. So it kind of goes to show that he can do that against multiple teams, depending on who's guarding him. So I do think that Team Calderoni is going to win this game just because Nate Schmidt's out. But I would rather also take Team Calderoni even if he was there. I just like, last year they had a deep playoff run. It's a great coach. Mr. Calderoni's a great coach, so I'm taking him in the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm torn in this one to be honest because I think Team Friedberg they don't have a scorer with Nate Schmidt out, and that's
Ben Estefan.
that's Ben Estefan.
But what if I guard Ben?
but-
What if I'm man guarding Ben? How
and-
much is he gonna score?
Yeah, that's why I think I'm gonna lean toward Calderoni. The only reason I don't like Calderoni is because Team Friedberg has the guards to defend you.
That's the thing. It's like we're still gonna score 25 plus no matter what, no matter how good of defense they play on us. It just comes down to if we can stop them.
Yeah, I think it's also a big absence missing Kelly, especially he's
Yeah.
one of your best defenders on and off the ball. So missing Kelly could have been a great addition to your team in this game because he can guard the 1 or the 2.
I think this is less about guarding the 1 and the 2, and it's more about guarding, I think Ben's going to have a big game, if anybody, on Team Freeburg.
He's definitely gonna get the rebounds.
Ben
But do you think
Freeburg.
he's gonna put him in?
I think,
for all
if he gets enough of them, he's going to start putting them
I mean,
in.
you got Bruno.
Like, puts it in.
He's a pretty lengthy kid when it comes to
Bruno's-
Bruno can
blocking
rebound.
shots,
Bruno
so-
can rebound.
So
Bruno can
I wouldn't
rebound.
rule Bruno out of this. I think
The
that
cruise
he has
missile.
the cruise missile. I think that he has a very good shot of being able to do his deal in the paint. So I'm liking this matchup a lot. What do you think, Brady?
I mean, this game really could go either way, but I'm going to take Jared's team, Team Calderoni. I just think that, they match up well with this team. I know even though Ben might get all the rebounds, I just don't think that,
Yeah.
he could finish them. And I think Jared's going to have a big game, so,
Yeah.
we'll see, but that's what I think.
All right, moving to the next spot, we have the number 2 seed Meyer versus the number 7 seed Martin. This is a great game, Jordan. I'm going to give it to you because this is your time to shine.
I think this is definitely going to be a really interesting game to play, and I think it's a good matchup because I'd say these are the 2 biggest teams in the league, just height-wise.
Yeah.
Ari Jane,
Noah Norse.
Yeah, and so it's going to be, probably a matchup that's going to be on the inside. But I think if Team Meyer, which is my team, wants to win, we take it beyond the 3-point arc and we start shooting a little bit more instead of, trying to play that game and get rebounds and try to shoot it over Ari Jane because he's a big dude. So, I don't really want to take it to the inside with that kid.
Yeah, I have a question. So, to be able to contain Ari Jane, you guys have a very good chance of going to his zone, right? Putting Noah Norris in the middle. Would you guys ever consider that? Just taking him completely out of the game, 2-3 zone, so he, has to move outside of the block just to be able to get an open shot. Would you ever consider that?
I think that's a good idea. I think no disrespect to the players on Team Martin, but they do not have a lot of shooters.
Yeah.
I think James Barry, who's on that team, said they made 1 3 in their last game. So I would be opposed to just putting, clogging the paint, getting Ari Jane out of the game, and then,
And just run fast breaks.
Exactly.
I think that's a great shot for you guys, to come on top. I don't think, even though we're saying this on, the video that they can see, I just don't think that they're going to be able to break it against, a great Meyer team who's, has a bunch of big kids on it. What do you think, Brady?
I mean, I really think that Team Meyer should win this one. The only thing that they have to do is guard Ari, and I mean, I feel like that both Noah and Jordan, I feel like both of them could pair up well against Ari, and I mean, the only thing that they need to do is just stop the offensive rebound and the putback, and I think that they can run against them. So,
I mean, this game has me so torn. I actually don't know who's gonna win. I mean, I think I'm gonna pick Meyer just because they've been better all year, but Martin is so hot going in the playoffs right now, and they always do this every year. Team Martin comes out of nowhere. It's just hot. Like, this is gonna be a close game. I think this could be decided within 5 points, but I think I'm gonna go with Meyer.
Meyer, yeah, I got Meyer too.
I'm gonna take Martin. I really am.
Ooh. All right, dog.
I really am.
Sniper Willie's gonna have to be more than a sniper. That
You know why he's
man.
picking Martin? We all know why.
Oh, well, we know why he's picking Martin. But, since you're picking Martin, I'm going to go back and I'm going to change my pick to Kaplan. So, whatever.
No, I mean, when I look at Team Martin, to me obviously they're led by Ari Jane, but they have so much more. They have more than that. Max Martin 14 points, Connor 10, James Barry, like they're a good team and they're coming off a 29-point victory.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're hot.
All right, so going into the last matchup of the week, we have Team Breen versus the number 3 seed Team Altman. I think Team Breen's Cinderella story is over. Coming out of that first round, I did not see that coming, but especially against a well-rounded team of Team Altman, I don't think that them advancing to the next round is any near possible. What do you guys think about this one?
I really think that this is just going to be a blowout.
Yeah.
I mean,
last time it was 29-15, Brady.
yeah, I know that was. I mean, that was
Without
just like
Jack
a terrible
Biddle,
game.
without
Yeah,
Jack Biddle.
Yeah, without Jack Biddle. But I mean, I just feel like Team Altman now. I mean, they really found their groove.
Yeah.
I mean, Breen, even though they won, I mean, I just don't really see if they can keep that momentum. But I mean, anything is possible.
Anything can happen.
But at this point, I am going to take Team Altman.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Altman's going to win, but if Cole's not shooting the ball well, I think Breen can make this interesting. I mean, when you look at Team Altman, they don't really have any other pure scorers this season besides Cole. Like, Maluk hasn't had his best year. So, I mean, who else would score? What if Cole's not making his shots? Who else is scoring for him?
They rely on is it Harsh?
It's
Is that his
Harsh.
name?
Yeah.
They rely on Harsh to get blocks.
Yeah.
And 5 blocks.
Steals.
They do rely on him for scoring a
plus
lot.
He's had a
Minus-
couple good games scoring wise, but and also Ben Bartlett. I mean, he's had
an off year.
He's had an off
Kwame
year. but
Brown.
He's an emotional player.
Kwame
He
Brown.
That's
gets
like one
fired up.
thing.
He
He
that-
tried to
fired
hurt
up.
you that one time.
Yeah, dude.
Who's this?
Ben Bartlett is a very emotional basketball player. So I think that, if I'm Team Breen, I'm putting that in the back pocket. And I might try to get him a little fired up during this game. Because, once you get in his head, he starts bricking everything.
And same thing with.
I mean,
Cole.
Jordan, I got to ask you.
Yeah, getting Cole's
If you win this game and then Team Altman wins this game, you're going to have a rematch versus Ben Bartlett. Remember last time he tried to take out your legs in the last shot of the
dude, he
game?
was so mad.
Do you have a message to Ben Bartlett?
I don't have a message yet because, they need to win this game.
Yeah, they do
And
need to
so,
win this game.
Well, you need to win your game too.
That also. But,
6,
I think that this is actually a really good game. And I think that, everyone's like, oh, Team Altman's going to win. I'm taking the upset. I think Jay Biddle and them,
Wow.
I think they
Jay
can
Biddle?
Jay Biddle,
That's
man.
that's
That's
a hot take.
Tyler and them, Cesar and them.
Come on, man.
Tyler Cesar Breen?
You guys not hit Tyler Cesar Breed. Goldie, who do you think's gonna win this game?
Gold, bro.
I got Team Altman.
Yeah.
I mean,
Gold, bro.
I really do want Team Breen. That's who I'm rooting for. But to me, when I look at Team Altman, they're They're just too much for Team Breen.
Yeah, I think Team Breen's, like the fan favorite, right? I can say that myself. I really like all the kids on Team Breen. I like how they play together. It's just I think that, Team Allen's just going to be too much for them. What do you think, Jack?
I mean, second round of the playoffs, I don't think you can win a game scoring 30 points.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked for them the first week. It worked for them kind of throughout the season,
Yeah.
but second round of the playoffs, you're not going to win a game doing that.
Altman isn't scoring like crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Amounts
They
of
have
points.
been
those
the last
championships.
couple of weeks, though. They have been.
Well,
scoring
Harsh
more.
does get 5 blocks, so we have to lock in Harsh 5 blocks for this game. So we'll see how Breen scores on them,
Yeah,
according to Cole.
according to Cole.
So, who is your dog of the week for the first round or the second round of the playoffs?
Noah Norse. I think if Meyer has to win
That was going to be my pick,
Dude,
Jack.
wait,
Against Ari?
That was gonna be my.
That was going to be my pick.
You guys are honestly
He's,
glazing Noah
he's
now.
my MVP. I can do whatever
He's
I
still
want.
my
Noah, if you
MVP,
listen
but I
in, you're
think
the real MVP.
You're a real MVP.
He's not my
Noah.
MVP, but I mean he's dog of the week for sure.
I think he's dog of the week too. You think he's dog of the week?
Yeah.
All right.
That's
All right.
okay.
Let's see if you guys have anybody else in Noah Norse. Cody, who do you got?
I'm still trying to think. I think I'm gonna
He's gonna
take.
pick himself.
I'm taking Nolan.
How many points did Nolan score last week?
Nolan had like 4.
And you think he's going to win Dog of the Week in the second week of the playoffs?
Is the man.
I do. I mean,
Where is this coming from?
No, he didn't have his best week, but he's had weeks in
These
the
are
regular
motivated.
season where he had like 18 points. So I think it's gonna be a bounce back week for Nolan. I think he's gonna be a big reason why we get the win and we pull off the upset against Team Kaplan. Even though to me it's not an upset.
Okay. What do you think, Jordan?
Well, I don't want
We've
to
had
pick
enough of this.
I would pick Noah or I would pick someone on my team because I think it's going to be a good game. But that seems a little biased. So I'm going to pick from a different game, and I think the game to pick from is Breen versus Altman. So I'm taking T. Nelly, dog of the week.
T. Nelly.
Nelly.
I'm going to take his boy,
I don't hate
Jay
it.
Brew, Jack Biddle.
So you think they're beating Altman? Because it's hard to win dog of the week if they lose the game.
I mean,
He
you
has a
won dog
point.
of the week on a loss.
He has a point.
It's happened before, and it's going to
You're
happen.
gonna have 37, but
Well, Tyler
you have-
Cesar Breen's going to get this done with.
I feel like for you to get dog of the week and not come out on top, you have to have more than 30 points.
Yeah.
I think that's. I mean, we didn't even
Oh, wait,
give it.
why
We
am I-
didn't even give it to Mauricio when he had 37 against Calderoni, right? We gave it to you, right?
Yeah, and
That was
what is wrong with me?
controversial.
Why would I pick Biddle? Harsh gets 5 blocks a game.
Yeah,
we
that's
can't
true.
we can't pick someone
Well,
on
it depends
team,
who's doing his stats.
Who usually does them?
Brady and Carter.
All right.
He has
6,
7
7.
blocks next week. He's gonna smash the over on that one.
The over set at 5.5.
It's crazy how that kid gets 20 blocks a week.
All right, so we just recapped the second round of the playoffs. Be sure to be there on Sunday. The games will be playing in both gyms. Thank you for tuning in this week's episode. Signing off.
Why does nobody else have mugs?
Ross showed us.
Hunter Bro kind of
Yo, who's Tyler Cesar Breen? Oh, those all
those
of them
3
had
all at
three.
8.
No, that's one person.
Say it like that, Alex. Tyler Cesar Breen.
8 points.
At 8 points.